Hey everyone, sorry for being silent for the past few months. I've been working on a very intensive project recently. What I wanted to do for really for the big goal that I had really was I started to dive further in depth in terms of quantitative finance to be able to create my own deep learning model to be able to actually be applied within the context within forex trading and just automated trading in general, and just to be able to showcase all the work I've been doing thus far. So far, the way I have really gone about it was that I had a goal in mind, a complete crazy goal of what if we were to take a certain amount, a very low amount, and turn it into a substantial amount within a short amount of time. Really was just doing a thought experiment of what if we were to take $100 and put it into $200,000. And so what I've been doing, namely, was that I went further in depth. For one, I went further in depth in terms of deep model development, namely just because of my expertise as a software engineer. And I was just focusing on really just trying to figure out exactly, okay, how can we apply deep learning to be able to make categorizations of when we can actually predict prices of when to go up, when to buy, and when to sell, namely. So for the context of deep learning, over here, just showcasing. All right, so this is just one of the journals I actually put in. And for the deep learning development that I've been going further in depth on, so I developed this namely using PyTorch libraries because it's just way more expensive right now and easier to train, especially in a local setting because you have a faster training period to be able to, depending on the context of the data and how much data you actually use. And the platform I'm using in order to actually create my deep learning model to make accuracies, and I'll show the results over here. It's a gold mine of data for MetaTrader 5. We're able to get, for instance, multiple bars, namely, like we can get over millions and millions of bars of information to understand between different spreads. And I believe that is why classification has already done so well. So for one, this is my deep learning model that I have, and for deep learning model development, there's typically three processes or groups I like to categorize, namely. Typically, the majority of it is data pre-processing, how well we're actually going to classify the data that we need, and I did a binary classification for different time series to be able to have a diverse array of data, and so I had these features that I had over here. I wonder if I can actually just open this up and show you folks what's been going on, so I'm just going to go here, documents, there we go, forex. And I had these Excel spreadsheets already outputted and exported from MetaTrader 5 after I had the symbols, bars, request, and then you can export the bars that way. It will be saved as a CSV file, but unfortunately when you export them, they come out, you gotta clean them up. Namely, it's one of those dynamics, hence seeing the underscore of clean over here. So if I were to have this one, for instance, let's go for 1 hour. This is how the data would look initially coming out. Yeah, this is a good example. And you would initially try, and I had to create a Python script to clean up all this data, so that way it could look like, just gonna get this over here, don't convert, yeah, here we go. Yeah, and this is how the rest of the data looks when it's already cleaned up. I made a binary classification on when to actually make buy and sell signals based on a certain percentage that I have. And I added a profit between time series and a buy and sell signal annually. And so just going down after having all this data, and I did this for different time series. Like I did this one all the way back to 1993 and all the way up until this one is just for 1 hour for this one. I'm just not going to save it because it's already stored there. And after pre-processing the data, this is my model architecture that I have already set up. It's a recurrent neural network, largely because recurrent neural networks in terms of their architecture are great for time series in general, and I use LSTM just to be able to create the layers for neural network. And I had a reduced hidden size of 2048, number of layers of 8, and output size of 2 to indicate when the price is going up or down, or the buy and sell. I made sure we were using CUDA for the sake of computational time and such, and that my PC was able to detect my graphics card and putting it in, and I counted the model parameters. This one was really big to be able to start, and there's there's a bit of a learning curve that goes in with trying to put everything that you have done in one platform all the way into MQL5, because MQL5 is MetaTrader 5's own proprietary language that's C-based. Took me a while to get through this, and I only had placeholders for just putting in the model because I had to convert it from PyTorch all the way to ONNX. And so going back on the model development, there's 3 processes for model development. 1, data pre-processing. Second part, the model architecture. And then the third part is actually training it, which is where all the magic happens. I already trained this model, namely, and I already paused it at this epoch, but afterwards, this is the result I got with the test loss of 0.0264, accuracy of 0.9907, precision of 1, recall 0.9595, and F1 score of 0.9793. So technically from this, it's able to actually have those classifications already set up in place, and then I save the model accordingly from just the regular PyTorch format in that case. There was another blog that I put in this one for ONNX format, and I did do further backtesting to be able to actually just check to see if the model was actually working, and I wanted to make classifications on when there would be a capital increase, and it would detect different percentages. So it entered the position. Now, mind you, this is all in a closed environment. So all this information that I have right here is fully simulated. This is only for educational purposes. Do not apply this whatsoever to this. This is fully in an enclosed simulated environment. It is not complete at all for real-time trading, and I don't recommend doing it. I'm also not a certified financial advisor as well. I have not taken the Series 7. I'm an engineer by heart and trade. I just focus on like what I can do in terms of developing for research, scientific purposes, and engineering. That's what I apply on. And so what I wanted to do was actually transform the main goal of $100 all the way up to 200,000, namely. And it's possible in the closed loop environment with the precision, recall, and F1 score and accuracy, but this is in a closed environment that we have with our given capital, not accounting for slippage, stop loss, take profit. That stuff has not even occurred as well. It's able to detect when to buy and when to sell, namely within, for instance, given different stock prices as well, or sorry, the forex prices, namely, because I trained this specifically with GBP USD information for the sake of it. And yeah, going further in depth. Technically, it's able to transform 100 into 200,000, but only in this closed environment that we have, not accounting for slippage, not accounting for other trading factors as well. Closing, margin, free margin, and also I did not put in any context for leverage as well. And I believe so. Actually, yeah, I did. I used the leverage of 200, just using it as an initializer right here, and having initial capital of 100. And having just a stored series of arrays for capital history as well, to be able to make predictions and backtest to predict a buy signal that is able to close and make different trades. And Python has such an expansive format to be able to make predictions and such. It's just that when you put it on one platform to another, it is so ridiculous. Oh man, the learning curve that I've been just getting when it comes to MQL5, because the information is just not out there. It has just been, I'm sorry to say this, it's asinine. Just putting it from deep learning model development all the way to MQL5, namely. And it's just, man, it just needs further depth. This is why I'm making this video, to be able to output more information and everything else. Just logging this entire project that has been going on, and it's been a long, challenging process for the past few months, namely. But all the math checks out, and I just want to showcase to you folks over what I've been working on, namely. And so then I also did more backtesting for this model that was developed over here, and just different environment and such. We would have different calls. I think it was because I did a month, maybe a different month, namely. Just going in depth, I did more backtesting. Backtesting is a protocol to be able to validate your model's behavior to see how well it's actually doing. And this is more of it. It's still getting to the capital growth, and actually output of the days to reach the target capital. But mind you, this is all in a closed environment, so it's not actually creating the necessary trades. I'm going to put this all on GitHub so you guys can do whatever you want. But however, this is mine and everything, so this did take a long time to develop. So putting it right here, there's more, and I just feel like I'm just showcasing all the results. So for general deep learning model development, again, just recalling there are three big components that really go into it. There's one, the data preprocessing, which is the big majority of your model development in general. Then your model architecture, where you define the parameters, and then the training, where you also define the epochs to be able to get your loss score and validation loss score as well. And this is just more back testing that I did. I just wanted to make sure it all worked. Blah, 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 blah. Not sure about this one. I think this was... Yeah, this one was a different test. Oh yeah, no doubt. Wait, I think this was... Yes, I put it in a different time series name. I think it was over a year, maybe. I don't know. Okay, 4 hours. 4 hours. I tested this out in different time series, like 4 hours. Like, this model was solely developed because of the amount of data and the volume that was already available. I had a large portion of 1 minute trading data, namely, not so much for 4 hours. And so that's why the model performed poorly for the results for the given capital. It would just make various predictions. We have precision right here. We have recall. F1 in accuracy, quote unquote decent, but they're not actually getting the results that we are looking for within a given time frame of making a certain amount within a given month. And this one was actually, so now this was a case where I was trying to take live data, namely, now trying to put your model that you have developed and worked tirelessly hard within the Python environment all the way to MetaTrader 5. Unfortunately, because MQL5 is a proprietary language from MetaTrader 5, it's not getting you the results, namely where you're able to actually make live trades just within this environment. Plus, the latency within Python compared to C++, totally different. Namely, just to see exactly if it was possible, because MetaTrader 5's own platform has a volume threshold where you're not going to get the exact raw volume, but you're going to have to put it in hundreds format, so x.xx. Format. So that would mean that if you were to have a leverage trade of 16,000 USD or pounds, it would technically be 16,000. It would technically be 0.16. You were trying to figure out how to put it in that format, and it cannot be the raw format where initially the raw would be 16,542 whatever. MetaTrader 5 does not allow that just because of their interfacing system. Okay. And then I also had a condition for running the loop, hopefully trying to get to the target capital, and with the live trading. And when I was running this and simulating this overnight, it wasn't actually making the trades based on that. Okay, yeah. I had an error over here. In that case, yep, this was one of the errors that was having in the live series, and actually it was not being calculated correctly in that case. Yeah, I had a poor calculation over in that part, but my math checks out for everything that has been going on so far, and I just wanted to showcase the progress of what has been happening, namely, so I could forex testing and implementation. Yeah, this one over here. Let's see. I'm trying to find one where, because I did different iterations just to be able to see. Here we go. Yep, this is the one. So it would consistently log in the profits over time, and it would consistently make the profits. Yep, this is the one. Yep. And I ran this over in one night. Actually, I did this one last month, and it would show more outputs. I just kept running this whole thing. It would make profits, but also this is in a closed environment, so I did not take into consideration about the free margin and margin availability as well, and stop loss position and closing your set position. So also, just due to the volatility of such, your capital could be this is entirely in a closed environment that you would have. So just within one day, namely within the simulated environment, yeah, in one day, was able to have another 100 just from it, and we just keep trading automatically since forex is 24 hours 5 days a week. Yeah, so this one was another variation. Let's see, logging mode. I had another one. Yep. I would be getting similar results, and there were cases of stop losses. Yep. We would still trade, and there were actually components where it would just be stagnant. So I was a little bit confused, namely, on just why I was making those observations. I think it was, yeah, I would still do those positions. Okay. And let me show the one that I actually had for... Yeah, okay, it must be this one. Okay, so this was the... Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, this was the one I had. So, like in deep learning model development, we have our data that we already have curated. We make sure that we split it to train, test, and validate. Batches as well. Model architecture, make sure these are the parameters that I used to be able to make training faster, and I used 2048 or some other batch. I'm sorry. Okay, but anyway, this hopefully you folks get the point. Yep, this thing was entirely miscalculated from older journal, namely that mistake. Now, I converted this model after fully validating it and backtesting it, and then also putting it in simulated environments as well. I converted it from PyTorch all the way to ONNX, and I tried to figure out how to put in the ONNX format for MQL5, and then my biggest problem was actually just going through the syntax. So namely, sorry about that. So MetaTrader 5 is MQL5 documentation. This is where I had to learn almost everything thus far to be able to get through on different trading and such. But a general idea for some of the main functions to be able to go through. So let me just run this simulator so you folks can actually see what's going on. Let me just run that again. Just move this over. Here we go. Okay, so in this case what I had... Now, mind you, I did not integrate the model whatsoever, so I really had to figure out exactly, just based on the syntax alone, how to convert from one format to another. And that meant literally just without the model itself, how those trades would be executed. And now, the settings on how you actually run a simulation, so I want to make this, I'm transitioning to the point of making it as real as possible. So my biggest issue was that I approached this from a very naive standpoint because I had the modeling based on 1 minute OHLC, where OHLC is open, high, low, and close. And based on that 1 minute mark, I was hoping to actually just get the data over those said trades as well. Now, the reason why MetaTrader 5 has this is mostly just because of computational power, because it's easier to be able to generate those results quickly, and depending on what is possible, your most realistic result is going to be every tick that you have instead of the OHLC. We can have over here, this is a graph result. It takes 1,000 and then puts it up to 50. And the backtesting is like okay for the most part, but I mean it's not perfect. It's like it's all aggregated to the very end of set script. So there's so much more I got to learn throughout this entire process, but I just want to showcase what's been going on. And it would actually output a log, namely I think it's cool personally. I don't think it's the right one, so I'm gonna have to clear and then be able to actually start this again. There we go. And then, yeah, here we go. Okay. So it's able to log in the profits just based on open, high, low, and close. And going all the way down. Your balance would increase, and I would just have these print statements to be able to understand how the script is actually running, and just double checking on just like different implementations and such. But then we'd just take the profits, and then we just keep adding it up until it reaches a certain threshold. In this case, I put in 50K just as the threshold, just to test it out. Yeah, so it's increasing all the way from 1,000 to so far 30,000 right here. And my hardest part was actually also trying to figure out how balance and equity would also be included, because I wanted both of them to line up, and there would be instances during the expert advisor where the expert advisor, for instance, would have, the green bars indicate what the equity is, and the blue bars indicate what the balance are as well. It was a very difficult process, namely because I would just have, for instance, my equity go up, go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and the balance just like stay stagnant. I'm like, why is it doing that? But I finally got to the point where I was able to actually merge both the balance and equity all together, which I thought was insanely cool to be able to do. I'm just trying to figure out, like, going back on like what I did. I think it really just had to do with. Okay. It was really, it was because I closed it's because I made a custom function of closing by the ticket for a buy position instead of just relying on the stop loss, namely because there would be some latency in time that MetaTrader 5 would actually have. And plus, there's probably some type of like commission already like taken off whenever a stop loss is implemented or a take profit, so I was just facing those issues. But it really came in with actually putting my own function, going in depth on the documentation. I'm like, okay, I don't understand like why this is working or why we're getting different results, because initially the way I went about this in the first iteration that I have from my expert advisor, I had a buy limit. Let's see. Was this one with a buy limit? Yep. This is the one with the buy limit. And I would have this weird type of dynamic. See, yep. I would have the equity and the balance still line up, and actually only just do something really crappy, like only take 1,000 to 2,000 over here. And it would just go up. It would go up. Well, mind you, this is all on the basis of open, high, low, and close. And I only just had the ONNX prediction in just one format, namely, and just trying to move everything all the way up. Then I'm a true expert. Already used just to buy to make quicker trades because of buy limit. And I had to go through so much in terms of the jargon, like what is a buy limit, what is a sell limit, what are those things, because I don't have any finance experience, namely. And a buy limit is when certain events are triggered, when you're placing an order before it's actually executed at a certain price. And I did this so we could prevent cases of slippage, and the price would be totally different, because I was comparing between different results of like, okay, I wanted to have the same environment that I would have when I would be getting my results from backtesting earlier. I'm trying to see okay. So I wanted to get the similar results when I was backtesting earlier, probably in like this case, where I was trying to get the similar results and trying to replicate the behavior that was obvious right there. But I was facing cases of new knowledge, like slippage. Like I had no idea what that was to be able to start, and then I would learn about buy limits. I'm like, oh, okay, hopefully that works. But there's such a bigger context that also goes in, and I did not put in my custom function as well to get rid of those cases of when the balance and equity were not lining up. And I think it did the same thing over here. Okay, yeah, sorry, the entry price had this one. Yeah, this one got better. This one did get better. And then this one over here. Yeah, that's one. Okay. Now, let me show you exactly why this won't work. Going over to settings, and then I'm going to go with every tick based on real ticks. This is what's going to happen, and I don't recommend this. Ta-da! And this is why it's fully in a simulated environment. This is why you should not put this out in the real world, because there's so much more to go further in depth on, but that's where the adventure is. Look at this. This thing is not working right now. I'm glad I not put this in, because there's so much more to learn about this entire thing. And when it comes to putting on your deep learning models, namely, MetaTrader 5 also has, contrary to what you may find online, they allow ONNX integration now. And ONNX is the best format for them. They have this documentation already out. Came out, I don't know when in particular, but Yeah, I just have them as placeholders. I did not put in any format for the model, namely, and I've just been focusing on that. And I've just been having this goal of trying to turn 100 into 200,000, but then I just like, you know what, let's just try to figure out how we can do this for this falling capital right here. Then I had a different expert to try to focus on putting on Realtek, but now I'm just having just the same type of error, and that's what we do. And then I just wanted to figure out how we can fix this again. Same error, and then another one over here. Let's see what's going to happen, and it's probably going to be same error. Actually, wait. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, well, less of an error then. I think it was because I just put a okay, I think it really... Yeah, okay, so I had a profit array in that case. And it had a different stop point. Yep, exactly. It's because I had a profit array to be able to go out on this. So that way I was trying to... True expert, let me... graph. Because I was just simulating this on OHLC. I was trying to figure out exactly when we could actually convert the cell into a, whenever it's going down and whenever there's a stark contrast, just try to flip it, so that way we could actually generate, you know, a higher amount. That's yeah, that's just what I've been trying to figure out, and that's why I have 30 different experts, namely. Yeah, it's been a process. It's been extreme in that case, and that's why I'm putting it in. I wonder what this one... Oh, yeah, I remember this. I got pissed at one point, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how to compound, namely, so... Yeah, and it wasn't actually doing it. Target balance already achieved and stop trading. Yeah, I just got pissed over, like, one point. I'm like, why is this not working? I would go back and forth just trying to figure out exactly, like, why it's not doing it, and so... Yeah, that's compound. I want to run the true expert so that way I feel good. No, not that one. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, this one. Okay, I feel better. I feel better on this work. And this also doesn't work on multiple months because I was trying to figure out how to make this time agnostic as well, because if I put it for next month, for instance, it's not going to work. Yep, well, that's because it's a weekend and I do not know my dates. Okay. Yep, it's not working. Namely, it's not going to be time agnostic because you're going to lose some money on certain days, and like I'm not trying to lose any money whatsoever. So that's why I'm just trying to like have another expert that actually transforms it. Ugh, man. But yeah, this is what overall. Let me just put it back in the month that I enjoy. Yeah, just hopefully I just get some satisfaction from this. Yep. Okay. So yeah, this is I'm gonna put this in the quantitative finance playlist, just letting you folks know what I've been working on. I also did this with Bitcoin as well. I want to go off on the Jupyter notebook. Oh god, it's been a process. I'll just do that really quick for the sake of this video. Price neural network. This one was Bitcoin, I think. Okay, so I had forex trading logs. Yeah, I tried to figure out different forex. No, that's not it. Yeah, I was just doing this Intelligent Pandas at one point, man. Yep, I was doing Bitcoin at first, just trying to figure out, like, yeah, this was Bitcoin, namely, using device CUDA, man. There's the only one, and this is how you're supposed to do it. I used a progress bar for time, obviously. Just kept track of everything, and I showed more outputs. Yeah, don't do what I did here at all. No, man, no. I was just like, hopefully we can get this down. But then that would actually lead bias to the training instead of actually like going down. But it was like, oh boy, it's going down. Yes, all I care about is it going down. But then we just have a loss of 0 point. But then we would be subject to the bias of the data. And what really helps in terms of deep learning model development is that data is the oil and fuel to be able to power your deep learning or machine learning models. Namely, the more data you have and the more properly labeled it is, the better. That's a genuine fact. That is a genuine fact, but there's probably further research on arXiv that goes further in depth on this and does not do any of the stupid stuff that I did. Yeah, I was just trying to have different outputs. And I try to do this for Bitcoin, but unfortunately it's just like Bitcoin is so volatile that literally forex with margin trading is just a little bit more stable. I'm not a financial expert whatsoever. It's just I'm an engineer. I'm not certified. This is only for educational purposes and entertainment. That's pretty much it. Don't apply this advice. I'm just showcasing all the work that I've been doing thus far, because overall it's been a very, very tough project. But I do believe in this project. Namely, I'm going to take all this stuff to the Oxford Quantitative Finance Institute when I enroll in there this fall to let them know of all the work that I've been doing, because it's like, I mean, there's so much to learn on this that I'm excited to go further in depth on and want to take you guys through it. But man, it's hard. I mean, this stuff is hard, but it's like the reason, and that's also another thing why I enjoy it, because it's a very deep challenge. It's the desire of actually automating software and making money in your sleep. It's already been validated for like YouTube videos are also creating apps at the same time. It's just the dynamic of like, what is a proper medium to be able to actually generate said money in one's sleep and be able to actually, amass the wealth of what Rockefeller, Napoleon, and Caesar have actually done in their lifetimes. I do believe it is very attainable in this day and age. However, there's a lot of there's a lot more of context that really goes into it. But yeah, that's probably for another video as well, talking about personal goals in life. But yeah, overall, this is just the big project I have been working on. I'll be doing more videos like these just to showcase what's been going on in my life. Let's see if this one actually. Okay, yeah, this one sucked. Oh man. But yeah, overall, this is what I've been working on. Namely, it's been a very tough process thus far. It's been a very hard road. But I'm just saving this for the archives for the most part, and I just want to look back on this. So, and share it with you guys and folks too. So yeah, thanks. Thank you again for taking time to watch this. If you found this video helpful, or by any means have any inspiration from it, or found this knowledge useful, by all means, feel free and please like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to put it in the comment section. And as always, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.